Okay, once again, you guys, look, if you haven't yet, I encourage you guys to join the Facebook group. It has the same name as the YouTube channel, Pimpy's Investment Chat. I encourage everybody to go there. It's free. Join in. There's all kinds of news about the Iraqi dinar, the Vietnam dong, along with cryptocurrencies and other investments. All right, so I encourage you to go there. I guarantee the stuff that you're paying money for in Patreon groups, that information isn't here for free. So stop paying for it when you can come here for free. Okay? Again, I'll leave the link in the description. I encourage everybody to join there. I want to show you something really cute. You want to see something cute? Isn't this the cutest little thing? Watch. How you will know when IQD has arrived. Look at her little outfit. She is G'd up to the kills. I love her little headband. You know, she got some Chanel going on there. She's just looking pretty sporty. Anyways, I thought it was cute. I would share that with you guys. Sorry about that. Okay, so anyways, let's talk about cryptocurrencies, because when the market was bottoming out, not bottoming out, but it was dropping. I told everybody before you invest in cryptocurrencies that this happens a lot. You'll see swings, huge swings sometimes in the values of the currency. It'll swing up really quick and it'll swing down. And I told you the best thing you do is not panic. Just leave your money there and the market will rebound. And look again, it only took a day and a half and the markets are already rebounding. Okay, it's not quite a 100% back, but it's getting there already. All right, yes, I know you see in the red, but what we saw was probably most likely a pullback or a market correction. So you don't sell your cryptocurrencies, just like stock. Warren Buffett said the worst thing that people could do when the market drops out is panic and sell your stock. Just hold on to it. Eventually it will recover. The same thing with cryptocurrencies, all right? I told everybody that Bitcoin halving is going to take place in May. In order for them to even be valuable enough for miners to mine, they're going to have to be somewhere up to around $16,000 or $18,000. If they're not there, it's not going to be feasible. It's going to be more expensive for miners to mine the coin than it is for them to continue. So that will cause the coin to really crash. But I don't think that's going to happen. We got a lot of millionaires over in China who are heavily invested in mining Bitcoin. So don't be surprised if you don't see those millionaires start pumping money into the market to make the value of Bitcoin go back up. Okay, having said that, people ask me all the time, do you have big cryptocurrencies? Yeah, I have Ethereum and XRP. I don't trust anything else. I have my reasons for that, and if you heard other videos, you know why. Okay, so I encourage you to go back to my other videos and check them out. Okay, so real quick, I just wanted to touch base on something. We know that Donald Trump has been redoing all of our trade agreements. But in addition to that, he's been one of the most boldest presidents we've ever seen to just start doing what other presidents refuse to do or were too scared to do. And that is call countries out for manipulating their currencies. That affects the U.S. It does for many reasons. If it's cheaper for companies to go to another country because they lowered the value of their currencies, to take their companies over there and manufacture over there, then that just really hurts us. We lose a lot of jobs. That's not what we want. As a matter of fact, another reason why you might not want to go into other countries is look at the coronavirus over in China. It's pretty much shut down a lot of the supply companies over there, as well as some of the manufacturing that's taken place, especially with Apple, who's most likely not going to reach their third quarter or the fourth quarter earnings. So that should be surprising to people. Or I should say the first quarter, is it the third quarter? Anyways, nonetheless, and that's because most of the manufacturing for their phones are done over in China. So, if companies haven't learned yet, sometimes saving money on the front end, it costs you more on the back end. And this is a good example of it. Bring your companies here, let Americans work, let the Americans make it, and stop worrying about stuff like coronavirus slowing down or stopping your productivity altogether. Nonetheless, besides calling out a lot of these people, you can see right here, the Trump administration has pursued unilateral and bilateral visions for foreign exchange policies vastly different from the multilateralist approach of its predecessors over the prior 25 years. So I'm going to leave this link here. Yes, it's a little bit of an older article, but it goes on to explain how Trump is, implementing new policies, and these policies are new types of tariffs that are put on a country if it's been labeled a currency manipulator. Now, I told everybody that Trump, on another YouTube channel, that Trump back in, I think it was February or March of last year, that Trump was creating these new policies. As a matter of fact, I heard about it from a friend of mine. And we were talking about how much Trump has done and what are the new things that are happening. And this is one of the things he spoke about, that there's these new policies that he's trying to work with the World Trade Organization to make sure that countries don't manipulate their currencies again. This benefits you. So if you think you have a currency that the currency's value has been manipulated, like what happened over in China, like we know it happened in Japan, like we definitely know it happened in Vietnam, that means eventually if they're going to avoid sanctions and they want to avoid tariffs on their goods, they're going to have to report the real value of their currency. Okay, so once this gets put into effect, don't be surprised if you don't see a lot of these currencies go up, especially the Vietnam dong. How much is hard to say. I told everybody once the China deal was done, shortly after China establishes the real value of their yuan or yuan again, or it's I believe it's pronounced yuan. Yeah, yuan. Anyways, their currency, they put the real rate out. Don't be surprised if you don't see a bunch of countries shortly after that, start revaluing their currencies to avoid the penalties, including Vietnam dong, who was last year labeled a currency manipulator by President Trump. So there's new types of penalties, new types of tariffs. And this is just a good way to make it fair, an even playing field amongst people who do business with one another, trading companies. So I'll leave this here because it goes into detail how this works. All right, so it's really interesting. But again, this just goes to show you that get ready to see a whole different type of as far as forex is concerned, the different rates on these currencies. All right, look, when I told everybody this was happening, then all of a sudden when Trump was at Davos, I guess he's the chairman of the World Trade Organization, told everybody that indeed he was working with the Trump administration and they were going to be implementing new policies when it comes to currency manipulation. This is good. All right, we want this. All right, especially if you're holding Vietnam dong. Okay, now where it goes to, nobody knows. We don't know for sure. Okay, the Iraq dinar is in a whole different situation. But again, I'll leave this article because it's good for you guys to read and see what we have coming up. All right, the same with this here. It's another version of that article, a little bit different, but it goes right into it. Okay, so it's just talking about Trump's renewed his focus on unfair exchange rates. So again, it's a new global battlefield that has the potential to do great damage to the world economy. Yeah, of course it does. You know what it is? Nobody's ever called these countries out on their shit like Trump has, man. He's not tolerating it no more. All this stuff, basically, the people who are allowing this to happen are the so-called globalists. So what happens is they allow countries to manipulate their currencies, make it so low, then they move all their companies to these countries and turn around and sell them at a huge markup in countries like ours. That's not fair. It's not happening. People are not paying attention to these new trade agreements that Trump's putting together. It doesn't just affect our country. As a matter of fact, one of the biggest differences for the new USMCA, but the Mexico and Canada trade deal is, and if people are going to work in Mexico, if they're going to work on any of the car dealerships that sell cars in our country, their employees have to make a minimum of $16 an hour. That's just so they can't compete with our country, but they're going to be fair. You know what that does to a country like Mexico, where their employees are allowed to make $16 an hour? That's phenomenal, man. Trump's not just helping our country; he's helping their country too. Hate him or love him, it doesn't make a difference. This man's making a huge difference. But anyways, this new rule is getting ready to come in effect. I believe it is in March. So I'm curious to see how many countries we'll start seeing the currency rate change happen on some of these countries. I think a lot sooner than later, but don't be surprised here. So March, I think, is when this gets launched. I know there's a lot of countries who are doing really good now because of the China trade war. Countries like Malaysia, Taiwan, Vietnam, all those countries over there who benefited, where a lot of companies left China and then went over there. Their economy is booming. The last thing they need is to get slapped with sanctions and tariffs by Trump. So keep an eye on them. I think you're going to see some currencies change here shortly. How much? I don't know. Will it happen before the rules are implemented? I don't know. We're going to find out. Okay, so look, also, there's people who are coming into the group. All right, I want to bring this up. If you're going to be in the group and you want to share some information, don't start off your post with, my military intelligence tells me, or my CBI insider tells me. Just share the information. Enough of these people have heard that crap for years, in some cases over a decade. So as soon as you start off with my military intelligence or my CBI insider, nobody's going to listen to you, and that really shoots and blows up all the credibility of what you're about to post. Even if it is true, that's not the point. Nobody wants to hear that. Just share what you know, okay? Don't be afraid to say, look, this is what I hear is happening, or, I want to share this information. But if you go by military intelligence or, my MI6 intelligence spy officers telling me, don't do that. You know what I mean? You got people out there talking about, well, I hold the digital codes to keep this from happening. Seriously, people, think about what this person is telling you. I hold the codes. Do you honestly believe that one individual holds the codes to launch this global currency reset? Do you know what the powers that be, the evil side, would do to this person? They would torture this man 7 ways to Sunday if he was the man that magically held some code that controlled the value of the currencies. No, it's all bullshit. Stop falling for that and stop paying for crap like that, all right? There's no such thing, okay? If there's a global currency reset, and I do think it's happening, there's plenty of stuff that I've read that says it's going to happen. And there's a lot of actions I see that look like it's going to happen. Now, whether or not a lot of us are going to run around becoming new millionaires, there's no way to tell. It might just be a slight bump. What I'm trying to say is this. If you're coming to this channel and you want me to just, blow a bunch of smoke up your ass so you can feel good, this is the wrong channel. I'm just going to go and give you my opinion based on my research and based at what I've seen. Just because I see a news article that looks semi-positive doesn't mean I'm going to drop a bunch of freaking bombs on you guys to make you guys get overhyped over some mediocre news. That's not going to happen. We should all share information openly and evenly. If it's good news, great, but you guys should be able to take negative news without attacking people, okay? Look, we're all in this together. We're all trying to achieve the same goal. So if some of the news that comes across is negative, that doesn't mean it's the end of the world. Until the rate comes out, it doesn't make a difference what one way or another on the news. I've said this plenty of times myself, and that is, don't listen to what they say, watch what they do, because there's a world of difference. We've all seen many a times, whether it's the Iraqi dinar, whether it is the Vietnam dong, no matter what the currency is, we've seen many times where they push out all this crap information and then turn around and do the opposite. Cryptocurrencies is another version of that. So, there's a lot of news that's coming out of Iraq. The funny thing is, if you get to the very bottom of the news, the person that's posting the news says, we cannot verify this information. Has anybody else noticed that? So, in other words, you're just taking a stab at what's going on. So stay positive. If all you people are out there talking about this is a godsend or Clement or, the aliens are telling you this is going to work, well, then why would you feel negative about negative information? Just go, well, that's not what my alien told me, or that's not how I feel about God. Then stay positive. You should always stay positive. You know what I mean? So don't be discouraged. Hang tight. There's a lot of gurus I see jumping out on the limb as far as making this prediction of when this is going to happen. Okay. Todd in my group brought something to my attention. Yes, I noticed there's some females, a handful of females that are being put into the Iraqi government. That's really, really good. But for the life of me, I can't think of her name. Oh, Miss Henness from the United Nations. He brought a good point up to me, and that is, it should please her, because this is one of the things that she did wanted. And if she's happy and she gives a good report, and I think she does weekly reports. You can go onto YouTube and look under United Nations. So this lady does weekly reports on Iraq. All right, so I agree with what Todd was saying. It's probably something that I just didn't pay attention to, and that is, making sure that she's happy about what she sees happening within the government. What we want to see is her move Iraq out of Chapter 7 and into Chapter 8, and we should see the rate change announcement then, all right? So hang tight, people. Okay, we see a lot of good things happening as far as, hey, something being done is with all these people manipulating their currency. So let's hope we can benefit from that as far as the Vietnam Dong is concerned. All right, so other than that, you have a good one and have a great day. Bye-bye.